Hello, beautiful and amazing members of the galaxy. This is the Nerdy Stepdad coming to you today to talk all about shipments and what should we be getting out of those shipments when we are in the early game of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Alright, so what should we be getting in the shipments tab when we are beginning players? So we have featured shipments. This refreshes every 4 to 6 hours. There's always gear pieces right here that are available for credits. I suggest buying all 4 anytime you're in the game and those are available. I would not be spending crystals on anything else in this store. Crystals early game need to be spent on refreshes so you can farm shards, and you're going to get more shards farming with the energy than you are buying them directly in the store. So don't waste your crystals. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to, that is up to you. It's not a good use of those crystals in my opinion, though. Save them for energy refreshes. Next we have the weekly shipment tab. This is only updated weekly, obviously. The best thing I have found to buy here is with your Mark 1 raid tokens, and that's the Omegas. You get 5 a week for 825. This is a great deal. You're going to be starving for these. Even in my main account, these can be an issue at times if I'm not keeping up with it, so buy these every week. Once again, crystals, I just feel like there's better uses for crystals, so I really wouldn't focus on getting anything out of here with crystals. Next, we have the episode shipment page. We get this episode currency from doing our episode task, which are in quest. The episode quests, it's these that you get every day, and then you go along your episode track, and every now and then you get the tokens in the episode track. So that's how you get that currency. So with this, what should you be getting? This is going to be your main source of Omicrons. So it's good to buy Omicrons there. It's not terrible price for your yellows. I probably wouldn't unless you're really, really starving. I definitely wouldn't get the Cairo here early. There's just more you can be using the currency for. I definitely wouldn't be getting mods unless the mod is just absolutely perfect. And what I mean by there, so like this crit damage, if it was offense percent, speed, and like crit chance or crit damage again, like, okay, like at that point, maybe you don't pass up on a mod that good. I think in a year of playing it like religiously, I've maybe found a really good mod like that once or twice, and even then you're kind of risking the speed not rolling, and then it wasn't worth it anyway. So probably not a great way to spend this currency. I definitely wouldn't get these. The characters, this can be a good place to get characters early. These are not the same characters all the time, they rotate. The main thing I will say is make sure you're not spending any of this currency on something that's going to have a light speed token. So like Grogan is going to have a light speed token. If you're using the Rebel light speed token on him like I am going to. If you're not, it's still a good idea. I'm just not. Sorry about that. That's my cousin's music track in the background. I forgot about that particular song. But yeah, so Grogan, if you're getting a light speed token for Rebels on him, don't use the currency on him. But anybody else is good to go right now, and as it changes, just make sure it's not somebody who's going to be getting a light speed token. Now, mod items can always be good if you're really short on those and you're trying to really get your mods up. This is a great use of that. The micro attenuators is probably the best place to get these in the game. I don't think I would get any of this with this currency, and I definitely wouldn't get any of the gear. Just the price point's a little high, and you can use it better with the character shards if you need it, and the Omicrons and the yellow materials. When you're closer to endgame, these are fine, but I wouldn't early game really focus on this unless it's just going to transform a character or a team. Like Wampa was up here 2 months ago, I think it was. That was worth it, even if you're a new player. As long as you have Wampa unlocked and you can use Wampa, that was a great datacron for that. So that will vary, but more often than not, I would say probably not worth it early game. Now, mid and late game, definitely worth it, but until you have the teams, it's not the best use of this currency. Era Shipments is new. As a new player, don't get the coaxial. Like, that's for R10. When you're a new player, you're not going to be going to R10. It's not worth it. Now, they do have Lightspeed tokens. You can save up for a long time and get one of these 5,000 currency pieces, relic 5-6 stars. This is still our first time through, so we're still kind of feeling out how much of this currency you can get free to play a month. I do think that we'll be getting close to this 1,000 by a month, though, which would get a Gear 12 and 3 stars. So I think that's probably what to shoot for free to play. Getting a character that is Cairo heavy up to Gear 12, skips all the Cairo. It's a great deal. I really wouldn't worry about the stars too much at 3 stars. It's not that big of a boost, so you can still be sharding, but you can definitely use this to great effect. If you don't know what characters need a lot of Chirotech, I would suggest asking your guild. It's generally newer characters, but being you're probably new to the game, if you're watching this, you're not going to know what those are. But just for an example, if we go through here, that has a lot of Cairo, that has a lot of Cairo. And I'm going to miss some because I'm going quick. The Gungans have a lot of Cairo. Rex is a Lightspeed token that you're going to get. That's going to get him 7 stars and a relic level and his Zeta, so I wouldn't do that. Dark Talon might be a good shout. Dash Rendar. Great Mothers. Any of the Gungans, like I said. Any of the Mandalore unlocked team would be probably pretty good. Or just whatever one you're not going to be doing with your Lightspeed faction token from Mandalorian. This could be a good place to get the other one geared up. Mara Jade might be a good one if you're not using the Empire Lightspeed token on her. Saul's pretty heavy. Once you unlock Wampa, you can put it on her. Same with Wicket. I don't think you have to unlock him, but Wicket, no, probably not Wicket. But Akbar is the most expensive Cairo in the game that's not a GL, so he could be a good decision as well. Now, that being said, it is up to you. I don't know what you're farming individually, but I would find out like what your plan is. Find the one that's going to require the most Chirotech, even if it's just a search on SWGOH GG. You can find that out and go with that one. And like I said, I wouldn't worry about the stars so much, but getting to Gear 12 is a big deal. You're one step away from Relic at that point. Here in the Cantina store, if you're going for the Profundity Rush, this is where you're going to get Cassian's U-Wing. If you're not going for that rush, you're not going to get that ship right away. I mean, you'll still use this currency to get this ship at some point, but it doesn't have to be as big of a rush. As you can see, I already did Bisting because I am rushing Profundity. Next, I'm going to do Qui-Gon. Just because once I get an Omicron on him, he becomes a really good GAC team with Jedi Knight Anakin. So I'm going to get him up, and then I'm going to go back up, and now I'm going to do Cassian's U-Wing. If you are doing the Profundity Rush, Biston is somebody that you're going to want to do. Once again, I just don't put any of this currency into characters that's going to have a Lightspeed token. Boba Fett's going to have a Lightspeed token. Snips is going to have a Lightspeed token. So Chopper is going to have a Lightspeed token. I know there's been a lot of debate about Chopper for some reason. It's in the data mines that he is getting a Lightspeed token next week with Ezra. So I don't know why all of a sudden people are saying he's not coming out, unless it's changed, which it could have. I don't keep up with the data leaks as much as some people, but I do think, from what I've read and the graphics I've seen, Chopper's going to be a Lightspeed token, so I wouldn't be gearing him up. Now, if next week it comes out and it's Zeb and Ezra and Chopper's not there, come in and start getting a Chopper, because you'll want him for the Phoenix team. If you're going to do a Night Sister team, you'll get Daka here as well. If you're going to be rushing Jedi Knight Anakin, you're going to want his clones. 5s is somebody you'll want to get. Eventually, over time, you'll get everybody in this store, and once everybody in this store you've got, you'll just get this U-Wing, even though you already have it, because you'll be able to convert it to shard shop currency, and it's more shards than a character. So that's what you'll do eventually in time. But early, once again, if you're rushing Profundity, Biston, if you're not, or after you get Biston, Qui-Gon, and then Cassian's U-Wing if you're rushing Profundity. And if for some reason Chopper isn't on the Lightspeed token, Chopper. Here in the Guild Activity Store, this is where you're going to be using your Territory Battle and Raid currencies. For just your regular Guild tokens, in the second spot, to the left of Young Han, every now and then will be a gear piece that is called the MK7 Blast Tech Weapon Mod. You want to buy that every time you see it, and that is because it is the cheapest and most effective way in the game to get chromium transistors. One of those will give you 3. It sells in packs of 10, so you will get 30 of these every time you buy that when it's in the store. And so this is the piece that you definitely want to be looking for. 2 spots to the left of Young Han, and if it's there, buy it, because that is how you're going to get these pieces, which you will need for relic leveling. Character shards here, you can use it for character shards. These change. I don't think it's super set. I mean, some of it is set, but I do think some change every now and then. But everyone, if there's gonna be a Lightspeed token, don't use it. If they're not a Lightspeed token and you're rushing that team, it's an okay place to use this energy. I personally would suggest saving it for that piece that shows up here every now and then. If you're in a guild that gets the Mark III raid tokens, and you have to be doing the newest raid, which right now is Order 66 to get those, that currency is going to be good at getting. It's going to be either the impulse detectors, the keypads, or arrow magnifiers. One of these we cannot shard. So let's go look at that, because I want to make sure I'm giving you the best information. So impulse detectors we can get, arrow magnifiers. Oh, we can get all 3 now. Okay. So in that case, early game, just whichever one of those you're going to need, which is going to be more often than not impulse detectors early. You need those at a little bit lower relic level than you do arrows or Gerdas. So that will be a good spot to get those early game. You shouldn't be taking too many teams that high of relic right away early game, but that is where you're going to get that relic material for it. So the impulse detector is there. For the Mark II tokens, This is a good place to get your Zimbital cards and your Electrum conductors. You're going to need the conductors more than you need the Zimbital cards, because you'll need these, I think, at 5. I don't think you need these till 6 or 7. For your Mark 1 raid tokens, the heat sinks is a good value. Bronzium wire is a good value. Once again, don't do the chromium transistors here. That's going to be that gear piece. I promise it shows up, not all the time, but enough that these will not be an issue for you if you're buying that piece when it comes up and when you see it. And I wouldn't get these. There's enough stuff that we can salvage for circuit boards, even early, that I don't know if this is the place I would spend this currency. I would not get any gear with this currency right away. The Mach 2, maybe if you're trying to go from gear 12 to gear 13. Some of this can help speed that process along. I still think energy is the best way to use that, and it's better to use that currency to get your relic materials. But at the end of the day, if you're getting really close and you just need 5 of these to get you over the hump, I mean, I wouldn't blame you for spending that at that time, but I don't know if I would go super heavy into it until you have a decent stash saved up of your conductors. Now, once you have a decent stash saved up, then it would be okay to start getting your gear pieces. It is a balancing act, though. Like, you have to get some gear pieces in order to get to gear 13, but then once they're relic level, you have to have the relic materials in order to relic them up. So it's a balancing act. Go between the two, but definitely make sure whatever piece you're getting is for a character you're working, or that you know you're going to be working at the time next. Super early game. You can use these Mark II here for Wampa, Hermit Yoda, and Rolo. I do think there's a better spot for that here in a minute, which I will show you. So I don't know if I go super far out of my way to do this. It would be good to get Rolo. Actually, she's not in the other shop, I don't think. And you do need her for Leia. And while your guild will be doing territory battle, most likely early game for Hoth, they probably won't get enough shards to get you to 330, so this is a good place to supplement it now that I think about it. So she's worth it. Wampa and Hermit Yoda, there's a better spot. Once you do unlock Gas and Darth Malik, this is where you come to finish off their stars. That won't be right away. Your Mark 1 currency, if you're really credit hungry, this is a good spot. You do get quite a bit of this currency through raids, so you will have options. Your bronzium wiring can be here, so that is one place it could go. If you don't have relic teams, or you have you have some saved up, then credits, if you're really credit hungry, can go as a good place to get them. And then your character shards down here. You want to get Han Solo for your CLS team. He's really powerful. Even before you unlock Commander Luke Skywalker, he is worth it. His ability makes you go first regardless, so he is the first character that acts in any battle, which can be very useful, especially in conquest mode. So he is a character I would get right away. Kenobi is also after him, somebody I would focus. If you're rushing Profundity, you can get Jen in here and your Ewoks. So yeah, I think those would be the ones I would focus on. If you're rushing Leia or Profundity, would be your Ewoks for Leia. You can get Sunfuck for your Geo team for your guild. Don't do Luke. Don't do Old Ben. You're getting Lightspeed tokens for them. Like I said, if you're doing Profundity, Jen's good person to get. Dengar, I'm pretty sure is a Lightspeed token. Let me verify that real quick, because I do not want to leave you guys wrong there. Yes, he is. So do not spend it on Dengar, because you will get him in a Lightspeed token coming up. And so I would focus on getting those characters. This is what early game, this is what I would focus using that currency on, is character shards and credits. And then once you start relicking tunes, you can come up and get some bronzium wire once in a while with this. Once you have all the characters down there unlocked, full stars, then you credits and here. Credits you can always get down there. It's good until you have a good stash of credits saved up. I would say over 100 million. You can get credits there. It's a good place to get credits. For the squad arena, you're going to get Kanan here. You need him to finish out the Rebel or the Phoenix team that you're getting with Lightspeed tokens, so he's a very good person to get in this store. If you're rushing Profundity, Cassian Andor is somebody you can get from this store. Tarkin you will need to go ahead and 7-star here. This is going to help with the executrix and getting to where you can get Zetas 3 times a week in the ship challenges. It is today's challenge, the ship mod material. My ships are not ready, but once they are ready, you have to get to this tier, and then you'll get 2 Zetas every time this event comes up. So 6 a week. So you do have to have the executrix strong enough, and that's part of that is getting Tarkin up to 7 stars. So he is very important to get in that store. And then SWGOH is a good person to get in this store. He can one-man some teams early GAC, so he is definitely somebody you can consider getting and relicking. Asajj, if you're building a Night Sister team, is in here. I wouldn't get credits here. I would get them in the guild store. I wouldn't use these here to get credits. And I wouldn't get the gear here unless you're just really desperate for that gear. The shards are more important. And then once you have the shards, at that point you want to start getting prestige. Once you have all the shards in the shop done, you want to start getting your ship prestige here. This is the prestige that goes on the capital ships, and your need to upgrade their abilities. And you want to get that at least until you have all of your ship abilities maxed out on all of your capital ships, which will take a long time. With the capital ships, I don't think it's wise to be gearing up the first one, the basic, on any of them. I would focus on getting all of these geared up. The second, third, fourth, and this one. I would never worry about getting this one geared up. I mean, eventually, yes, but do that last. It's not as important as the abilities. And once you have all of the abilities unlocked, then you can start using credits and gear pieces to put into shard for like low level relic material stuff, or even just getting the characters, even though you have them max sharded, just to get shard shop currency. I don't think it's that effective, but at the end game when you don't have anything else, and make sure if you somehow one day get all of your capital ships done with prestige, I would still make sure you have a big supply ready to go in case they release a new capital ship. So little food for thought there, but early game you don't have to worry about that. It is Kanan, it is Moff, SWGOH, Asajj if you're doing Night Sisters. And the same thing I was saying elsewhere, if you're getting a Lightspeed token like we are for Mace, like we are for Princess Leia, don't use this currency on those because you're going to be getting them to 7 stars anyway. In the Galactic War store, this is a really good place to get K2SO if you're doing the Profundity Rush. You can do Cad Bane because he is not going to be one of the bounty hunters that is on a Lightspeed token, but you will also need him to pilot one of your ships for Executor some point down the line, so he's a good one to get here. The Mandalorian's going to be a light side token. Admiral Akbar's going to be a light side token. You can use this on Moff Tarkin if you're trying to get him up ASAP. But since we're getting him with the squad arena, I would avoid getting it here too, unless you're just really trying to rush him. Poggle, this is where you'll get Poggle for your Geo team. Zombie if you're doing a Night Sister team. Grief is a lightspeed token, so don't get his stuff here. Juhani, if you're going for Darth Revan, you'll get here. Omega, if you're rounding out a Bad Batch team. You can get shards of Pablu here. I do think it's better to use the Mark 1 rate currency. But he's somebody you can come in and start doing. If you have your other ones done that you're farming, then you can go do him. And you can get ships. This is a good place to get ships as they're coming up. Just make sure whatever farm you're focusing on first, those are the ships you're getting. You only get, I think, 1,200 currency a day, so you really only can do either one character 3 times or 3 characters 1 time. So kind of be picky and choosy. I wouldn't focus on getting mods from the store until you're further in the game. So with that advice, instead of explaining the store further, I'm just going to suggest not to waste your credits or your currency here and until you're much later in the game. It does become a place where you can look and get some decent mods once in a while, but you do have to be picky and choosy. The Fleet Arena. The very first thing I want to tell you is to get yourself a stockpile. That's the first thing. Make sure you have 2,000 at all time ready to go. And that is going to be because this shop has a few characters that you cannot get anywhere else in game. And so you want to make sure that when those characters show up, you have the ability to grab them. Razor Crest will sometimes come up here. When Razor Crest is here, you want to buy it every time. It's going to really speed up your Razor Crest farm. Well, it's the only way to farm Razor Crest until you have 4 million GP and can do Proving Grounds. So ideally, unless you're getting a bunch of lightspeed tokens and just really skyrocketing your power, this is the way you're going to be getting Razor Crest. So anytime you see it, buy it. Also, where Darth Vader is, sometimes Grievous is. You'll want to buy Grievous shards here. I wouldn't buy Vader tokens with as many ways as you can get his tokens, shards. There's many ways you can get his shards just through questing and doing certain achievements. You should get him 7-star without having to use your ship tokens on him, so I would not suggest that. And then sometimes Geo Spy is here where Soldier is. It's the only place in game you can farm Spy, so whenever you see Spy, you want to buy him. Same thing with Plo Koon. This is the only place we can farm Plo Koon anymore, so when he shows up, you want to buy him. So Spy, Plo Koon, General Grievous, and Razor Crest. So you want to make sure you have a stockpile of enough that if they show up, you can buy them. And then another good, you can be getting ships in here once you have that stockpile that you need for your early game fleet. Sunfac for your Geos. It's all great. Like I said, I wouldn't get Soldiers. Soldier is an easy Cantina farm. But if he's just really falling behind, you're not getting to him in Cantina for some reason, you can get it here. But like I said, first order of business is getting those characters you can't get anywhere else and having enough of a stockpile that if they show up, you can grab them. And this is like your territory battle currency. So you'll be getting these with territory battles. For your MK3, a lot of people use this for Cairo. You can use it to help speed up some of these farms. Watt you can only get in Territory Battle, Geonosian Darkside. With your guild, you have to have Geos, and they have to be geared enough to beat that event. So he's kind of a slow farm. You can supplement here any of the like Commander Ahsoka conquest units, that's the word I'm looking for, can become here and you can kind of supplement that farm. You don't get a ton of these, so you'd be saving up in order to get those. Mach 2, you're wanting to spend on the Negotiator or the Malevolence. You want to pick one. You want to pick one and 7-star it. 1 and 7-star it. When it's done, you can go to the other one. Not until then. A lot of people are now going Negotiator because they're doing a Galactic Republic fleet early with Mace, and then they can just switch it over to the Negotiator. If for some reason you're just super into the Separatists and the Geos, you can get Malevolence. The old school thought was to get Negotiator to 5 stars, 7-star, and then you go in 7-star Malevolence, then you go and finish Negotiator. But now that the Marauder is out, the Negotiator can beat some Galactic Legend fleets, and so it's more important just to get whichever one you're going for to 7 stars first. Earlier I told you that we would be getting Hermit Yoda and Wampa somewhere else. This is at somewhere else. I suggest you start with Wampa, then you go to Yoda. If you're not getting enough Rolo shards, you can stop these farms for a moment to make sure you unlock her. Especially if you're getting close to Leia and that's the only piece you have left, but you should be getting enough of her through the territory battle shards and through the guild activity store that you shouldn't need to use this currency. And like I said, this would be more like if she's the only thing holding up Leia and she's getting really close, maybe switch to getting her shards here. Also, once Malak and Skywalker are unlocked, you can get their other stars here as well. By then you should be done with them, so you'll just move into using that. There are characters that show up down here with this currency as well. I think everything that shows up will be available elsewhere in the game. And so I would focus more on getting these bigger pieces and just saving the currency so that you can unlock these characters. They're very transformative, and it's just more important you get them than you get these characters. Now, once you have all of them, if you're not close to Malak or General Skywalker, you can get some of these, but conventional wisdom dictates that once you get Wampa and Hermit Yoda done, you want to start stockpiling these so that when you do unlock these guys, you will have the currency ready to take them up to 7 stars, and you'll be able to buy it every single time the story refreshes. To each their own. If you just don't like hoarding, you can spend the stuff down here. Like I said, though, I think you can get it other places in the game cheaper. I definitely wouldn't be buying gear with it until you have all 4 of them completely farmed and you start to have these characters farmed. Then you can start getting gear with that. Now, once you have your conquest units and stuff done, this is a good place to get Cairo. You can even get your attenuators here if you're really needing some for your mods, and that's to reroll 1 stat on a mod at a time. It gets progressively more expensive. You can only do it so many times on each mod. So this is a place you can get those. But a lot of people save this up to help supplement their Watt farm or their Cat farm. And I think that's probably the best use of it, unless you're not farming the Cairo on the energy node, in which case this is a good place to get it. And it's either going to be the shock prod or it will be the computer. They just interchange. There's not an order to it. It's just going to be one or the other. So, your Grand Arena currency, Cairo here as well. This is definitely where you want to get Cairo. I wouldn't spend this currency on anything but Cairo. It does go from the shock prod to the computer. Like I said, there's no rhyme or reason that I have found to it. It's just one or the other. If you have a bunch of computers and you just need the shock prods, just don't buy the computer. Early game, make sure you're building up. You will need them on certain tunes, and you'll need them a lot. Here in the Shards Shop currency, do not use this currency on ships or on characters. Do not. It's too expensive and it is not worth it. There's other places to get these things without spending your Shard Shop tokens. When you start unlocking GLs, you're going to need the light side or the dark side currency. This will be a great place to get supplement some of that with some of this Shard Shop currency here. And gear. You can get gear in the Shard Shop currency. So Shard Shop, how you get this currency is when you have a character 7 stars and you get more of those shards, it converts into shard tokens. And then you use those tokens to buy this gear. And this gear is the way to go. That's what you need to be getting with the shard shop currency if you're not getting energy for your GLs. I would say when you're about 2 to 3 tunes away, characters away, or just a few relic levels away, and you know you're going to be unlocking a GL pretty soon, start stockpiling this so that you can get these energies. It will speed up your GL farm, I promise. Conquest. I suggest that you use your conquest credits to buy shards of the characters in the conquest. It's just going to make you have to do less proving grounds, especially early game. It's going to be a while before you're able to unlock these conquest units straight out of the gate. And so helping to supplement that and not take as many proving grounds to get these characters is going to be huge for your account. I don't think I would be spending it on gear myself. That's just my personal opinion. There are going to be more options once Conquest starts and you get to Jawas that sell you stuff. They take this currency. Suggest the shards. But to each their own. If you really need that gear, I'm not going to stop you. But I do think it's prudent to be spending it on the character shards. If you have it, once you get to the point in the game where you're going to be getting the conquest units within 6 conquests and you're not going to need to buy their shards, then by all means be spending on whatever you want to spend it on. The Datacron store, honestly, early game, this is not where we need to be focusing our energy. We do need to get Datacrons. They are important, but we just need to get them naturally through conquest. There's just all of this stuff. There's better uses for the currency. Legend tokens, you have to have a GL in order to do a GL event that comes after Conquest, comes out with Proving Grounds, and it's a good place to get Omicrons once you have a GL and you're getting this currency. But honest, and it's a good place to supplement your Conquest shard shopping. If you're really trying to get cat, like you can speed up your cat farm. But like I said, it does take a GL to even get the currency, so in terms of early game, it's not important. Nothing for us to talk about. So once again, the main highlights that I want to drive home is make sure you're visiting these at least once, twice a day. Buy this gear anytime you can. And when you're getting shards, make sure that the characters you're getting shards for are in your farming plan, and make sure that they are not going to be getting one of the new Lightspeed tokens. You do that, you're going to be gold, and then over time you'll just really be using a lot of these shops to help supplement your farms. But early, I think we went through each one, we got a good idea of what's needed. This has been the Nerdy Stepdad on shipments and what you should be focusing on early game. I do hope you all have a wonderful, beautiful day. And to my Bantha brethren, I give you all a shout out. If you've made it this far in the video, I ask for y'all to give me a cheeky like and a subscribe. Have a wonderful day.
I will teach you how to ride. I got Bantha.
Where are you going, nerdy?
For a nap.